have a look at your baby, to have a look at baby's mouth and make sure, can I just get you to move back? Thank you. But to have a look at baby's mouth and make sure baby's mouth is nice and moist, and make sure baby's eyes are clean, to make sure that the soft spots on baby's head are nice and flat, and that baby has no rashes or unusual marks on their skin.
Every day before bath we want to check this.
Well, whenever you look at your baby, you will check those things. So for now, because baby doesn't like being undressed, we're going to wrap baby up in the towel, and we're going to do baby's head and face first. You can see baby is much more contained now, happy now that they are contained, because they don't like being unwrapped. So we're going to start with baby's head and face. Now at home you don't have to do this, you can just plonk the baby in and do it all at the same time, but this is a way to stop the baby getting too cool in here under the air conditioning. It's when you feed babies, it's an idea, and do their bath class, when they do their baths, it's an ideal opportunity to have a good look at them and make sure they look well and healthy. So a healthy, well baby has good tone, like pulls their arms in and out. They're not floppy or pale, and they should be eating and drinking well. Should be eating and drinking well. Once your milk has come in, baby should be having 6 to 8 heavy wet nappies a day. Probably not when they're very young, but by the time you go home and your milk is establishing, baby should have 6 to 8 wet nappies a day. And poos are pretty variable. Some babies poo every feed, some babies poo once a week. So this little one is cross because it wants more food. And you can see baby's got slightly sticky, moist eyes there. So that's the bit we're going to start with. Now babies often get sticky eyes because they don't produce tears very well to wash away the eye goobies. So I'm going to use a clean cloth, working from the nose out, and then washing the cloth off and using a different place and doing the other eye. Always from the nose out, because we don't want to spread bugs from one eye to the other. And then I'm just going to wash baby's face gently. And this baby thinks it wants more to eat, I can tell, because when I touch its cheek, it turns its head towards me. So it thinks, where is the food? I'm going to wash behind baby's ears, because this is where, do you need to sit? Because when babies are sick, which they often are, they often will get milk stuck behind their ears. So it's important to remember to wash behind their ears. And now we can do baby's head. Now people are often worried about baby's head because of the soft spots on their head. You won't hurt your baby by normal handling. Even though we call it the soft spot, it's actually very strong. So unless you tried to hurt baby, which we don't want you to do, you can easily run your hands over it without hurting baby at all. So you can see baby is liking having the head washed. And looking very content. If your baby gets sticky eyes, which as I say is not particularly uncommon, apart from washing them like this from the inside out, which you can do with cold boiled water from your jug or anything like that, the other thing that you can do is if you are breastfeeding, you can wipe baby's eyes. You can wipe baby's eyes with breast milk. And breast milk.
They had bath in that bathtub.
And breast milk will help any infections or rashes. So I'm just drying baby's head off. There's obviously a little spot there I didn't get.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll finish it off. So I'm going to unwrap baby now. Now baby's face and head are done. And so the last thing that comes off is the nappy, because it's not going to be long until I take the nappy off, and then baby's going to do a big wee or a poo. Now to put the baby safely in the bath, she rests over my arm with my middle finger under her arm like that. So my finger and thumb are touching. And I'm going to hold her feet and pop her gently into the bath. Now I'm going to sink her down in the water, so most of her is covered in the water. And I've pushed her feet up so that she can touch the edges. Now she is still a little bit tense at the moment, I can tell, because her little hands are crunched up. But she is getting calmer because she has her eyes open and she is starting to relax her legs. So if I let her relax back in the bath here, she is going to get more and more relaxed so that she is very happy. And we can just float her in the bath.
Is it okay that her ears?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. What happens when you get your ears in the water? Nothing?
Oh, okay.
No problem.
Go inside.
She has been in water for 9 months. So it's no problem to put your baby in the bath. And as you can see, she is happy. Very happy in the bath. Now put your fingers in here so you can feel the temperature. So it's nice and warm. And what I'm going to do is make a point of washing round her neck, because these are the bits where babies get sticky, and under her arm here. And I'm going to wash over her belly button with the cord clamp on. Oh, I know, sorry, I took that away, didn't it? Here, you can have it back. Now the cord clamp and her belly button don't hurt her at all. That's dead like fingernails. But it is going to fall off by rotting off, so it might get a little bit sticky. So what we need to do is, oh, I'm sorry, you're starving, aren't you? I can tell. So we just wash it with the, face washer, just gently. And we wipe down over her nappy area and over her bottom. Because she's a little girl, when we change her nappies, we always wipe from the front to the back so that we don't wipe poo into her vagina. But babies don't get very dirty at this age. And
Both side, front to the...
Yep, and I'm just doing the back like that. So it's no big deal. Now, babies can stay in the bath for as long as they might like to stay in the bath. So as long as she's content, we can leave her in here enjoying herself. But you've probably noticed by now that babies cry, and that's very normal. They cry from birth, and it's often because they are a bit overwhelmed and overstimulated. And as you go home, you'll notice that the crying peaks. It gets worse up until about 8 weeks, and then it tends to taper off. And it's often worse in the evenings. Now that's very tiring when you're a new parent, and it can make you very stressed.
You're talking about bath time?
No, crying time.
Crying.
Crying time. So if you are very stressed by your baby crying, it's very important to wrap your baby up and put them in their cot or somewhere safe and to walk away. It's very important never to shake the baby. It can cause damage to their brain. So if you are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted and your baby is crying and it won't stop, wrap your baby and put it in the cot and walk away. And then you need to get some help from your friends and your family and your support people, and tell somebody. Tell your GP, your doctor, or your nurse who's coming out to see you, because it's very important that you have all the support that you need to help you learn to deal with a new baby. As you can see, she's super relaxed and happy.
Are you here?
You can see that she is a very happy little girl. Other ways that we need to keep babies safe is to make sure that they have a car seat. So you should all have a car seat to go home with. And it's important that you don't smoke around your baby or in your house, and you don't let people who smoke hold your baby without washing their hands and changing their clothes. The chemicals from cigarette smoke are poisonous, and if you have been smoking outside in your clothes and then you put the baby up against your clothes, baby inhales those poisons. So try not to let anybody smoke around your baby or in your home. And if they insist on smoking, get them to put a jacket or a coat on outside, take it off before they come in, and then wash their hands well. Other things that we do to keep babies safe are to make sure that people who are around your baby have been vaccinated against whooping cough. Whooping cough is a very dangerous disease for baby, and babies can't be vaccinated until they are a little bit older. So grandparents and brothers and sisters should all be vaccinated against whooping cough, because they can bring it into the house and it makes babies very sick. So most babies, when they are born, the first 24 hours or so, they are pretty quiet. They are recovering from the birth. Can I just get you just to move that way a little bit so this lady can see too? So for the first 24 hours or so, they are recovering from the birth, and they sleep a lot and they eat every couple of hours. Once they get over 24 hours, they don't sleep very much at all, and they yell at you a lot because they want to eat a lot. And that is entirely normal. They do that so that mum's milk comes in faster. So the more they eat, the sooner your milk will come in. So it's entirely normal, but it's very stressful and tiring. So that's when you need people to help you. So your partner and things can do nappy changes and stuff like that, but it's important to know that this will pass. When your milk starts to come in, they only, initially they only have a very small amount of milk from mums. So on day 1, we say they will usually do 1 wee. On day 2, 2 wees. On day 3, 3 wees. And then on day 4, when your milk is starting to come in, by then you should be starting to get 6 to 8 heavy wet nappies. So the milk goes from a very small amount to lots quite quickly. So when your baby is at home after your milk has come in, that's another way you can tell your baby is well, by how many wet nappies baby has in a day. Oh, look at her, she's perfect and very happy. Because we are in a very hot environment at the moment, babies may notice, you may notice that they want to feed a little bit more. Breastfed babies, that's how they get more water on hot days. They will want to breastfeed more. If you are bottle feeding your baby, baby may want to have more bottles, but you don't need to give baby water or anything like that. Just feed your baby when baby says it wants to be fed, and it will work out how much water it needs to get from the milk. Now at the moment your babies are all pretty early, so they've probably got thick black or green poo. But as your milk comes in, it starts to wash away, and eventually it's bright yellow with things that look like sesame seeds in it. So just behind you there's a little chart about how the poo changes. So it goes from thick black tar eventually to runny yellow stuff. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. That's another way that we can tell that baby is having plenty of food. on your yellow card and also on the back of your cot cards, there's information about safe sleeping and putting baby to bed safely. There's also a little barcode, and you can take a photo of that with your phone, as long as you've got a smartphone, and it will put a link to the Women's and Newborns website on your phone.
Local support group or
No, just the Women's and Newborns Health website that's already on your yellow card. Yep. Because before you had your baby, there was information there about pregnancy and things. So what it will do is it will put a link on your phone, and all of this information is on there, including another bath demonstration if you ever want to look at that again. So on the back, so on there, on the front, see, there's the website there. So it will be on the front of your yellow card, or like I say, you can take a photo of the back of your cot card and it's on there. But you can always get all of this information. It's around everywhere. So there's lots of community places that you can get help. You'll have the child and family health nurse come and see you at home. There's the Australian Breastfeeding Association, there's Tresillian, and there's lots of information in your baby's blue book, which has got the immunisation record and things, and you will all have one of those. And that book is going to travel with your baby until it goes to school. So that'll have your immunisation details and all of those things. Now, generally, you will know if your baby is unwell because your baby will seem different. But at the moment, if you are concerned about your baby, but it doesn't seem to be an emergency, you can take your baby to your GP. If it's an emergency, so baby is pale or floppy or doesn't seem to be breathing well, that is an emergency, and you need to call an ambulance or come to the Children's Hospital Emergency Department.
so here
Yes.
you want to go that website, then you want to give this barcode.
No, the barcode is something different. So you need to go to Women's and Children's Health if you're going to go in through the website, or you can take a picture of the barcode on the back of that card, and that will put the link on your phone. What else do we need to talk about? So safe sleeping. Safe sleeping is a way that we can help protect your babies from a condition called sudden infant death syndrome. And that is when apparently perfectly healthy babies go to sleep and don't wake up. So ways that we can help prevent that is by breastfeeding, keeping babies in a smoke-free environment. And when we put babies into their beds, it's important that they sleep in their beds for every sleep. So it's not ideal if they're in their car seat. You should put baby down to bed in a bed each time. And when babies go to bed, they have nothing extra around them. So they don't have hats on in bed. When you wrap them loosely, and so that they don't have blankets right up to their face. And they're wrapped so that they fit at the bottom of the cot so that nothing can go over their face. If you are breastfeeding on a bed or a couch, it's very important that you keep your baby safe. Lots of babies have died by mum going to sleep accidentally and the baby getting squashed between pillows or couches. So yeah, those are particularly dangerous places. And be very aware if you are very tired or you've taken strong painkillers or alcohol or drugs that make you drowsy, because that's when things seem to happen. Oh, this little one's just being perfect. So I'll show you how best to safely wrap baby. How you will know if baby is warm enough or cold enough is we just put our hand on baby's chest. We don't wrap them to keep their hands and feet warm because their hands and feet are often quite blue for a little while, and that is pretty normal. Yes, she was got something to say.
I think he's hungry.
That's all right. You come back to Belfast tomorrow morning. Wherever they run it twice a day, and they're on the website as well. Oh, whoops! I've woken you up. Oh, maybe I haven't woken you up. So you can see she is getting much more relaxed. Little hands are relaxing. Bathing is a lovely thing for babies, and they tend to like it. But they will tell you as soon as they've had enough.
What's the symptom?
Sorry?
The saying is stop.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
How you find she's enough?
Because she started to cry.
Oh.
So that was her telling me, thank you very much, I have had enough. So you read your baby's cues, and if they start to get jerky movements or not make eye contact anymore or pull away or cry, all of those things are signs that they are getting overstimulated or they don't like what you're doing. So I'm drying her off, wrapped in the first towel, and I'm getting most of the water off her. And then I'm going to take her off this wet towel. And I'm going to wrap her back up in this one that was drier, the one that we dried her head on. And then I'm going to make sure that I dry all the spots that we needed to wet and that we needed to make sure we wash. So behind her ears, down under her neck, and under her arms. If you leave these spots and don't dry them properly, baby will get pain, get rashes and sores. Now I've got down to her belly button, and again I'm just going to pat it dry with the towel. This will fall off in about 7 to 10 days. If it gets a little bit sticky and you're worried about it, you can clean it with a cotton bud. You won't have long ones like this at home, but you can just clean it with a cotton bud at home. You don't have to. You can just dry it with the towel. So I'm just going to use one of those cotton buds, and I'm just going to wipe the edge. It doesn't hurt baby at all. And it just can dry things up a little bit. Now, just like baby's eyes, if it's getting a little bit sticky in there, you can clean it with cool boiled water from your jug and then breast milk. Now I'm going to do baby's groin. And this is the most important place to make sure we get everything dry. Because babies have their nappies on a lot. So we want to make sure that their bottoms are clean and dry. So you should change their nappies as soon as you know there's a wee or a poo in there, because the wee and the poo is quite acid on their skin. So it's good to change them as soon as you know they have a dirty nappy. And I'm just going to fold that down so that the cord's not squashed under there. So you can see she is much happier. Now she has got some pants on. And she will be even more happy once I put some clothes on her. Babies generally don't like to be naked for very long at this age. But a very good thing to do is to give them some tummy time, and you can do that from the time you go home. So it's good for them to have tummy time where they are learning to strengthen their neck muscles and getting used to being on their tummy. But you must watch them when they're on their tummy. And a really good thing to do at home is to give them tummy time in a little patch of sunlight with no nappy on. so that their bottom gets an airing. But they won't like you to do that very often, but you can do that every day from when you go home. But babies are fine on their tummies as long as you are watching them. And you can see she is quite strong and she's moving her head around. So this helps her develop tummy strength and neck strength. So it's going to make it less likely that she gets flat head from lying in the same place all the time.
So after bath, we want to put like
No, you can do this anytime. It doesn't have to be after the bath.
how long?
Until baby says she has had enough. Until she shows you signs that she has had enough. So that might be 1 or 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Might be 10 minutes. She is probably saying, thank you, that is enough now. Actually, she is saying, I am hungry. Now you can see I'm turning her over and I'm not too worried about her head or her neck. You won't hurt your baby by normal handling. Their necks are okay, and one of the strength tests that we do is to hold them up by their hands. So that is not going to hurt your baby, but you must not shake your baby so their heads go back and forth. So now I'll put the rest of her clothes on.
他说是你能不擦也行，你拿棉签儿也行。然后他说如果就是你发现有些黏黏的东西，你就可以拿棉签儿去擦。
And you'll learn how tricky arms are to do. Long sleeves are harder than short sleeves for babies.
那是每天洗澡。
Okay, now this
不是只是
has, no, it's still got a
洗澡的
sleeve
时候是对起来是每天澡。
sewn shut in it. Have you got something else that doesn't have one?
没说。
Oh,
Okay, so it's very important with baby clothes that you make sure that there are no loose threads because they can wrap around little fingers and toes and cut off the blood circulation. So make sure that in your baby clothes there are no loose threads. And this is going to be too big for her, but she won't mind. She will be happy.
你换个点缝缝。
他说宝宝都不喜欢那个光光的，所以你平常
She is not quite big enough for it, but she will get lots of wear out of it. Now, so we're going to wrap her. We're going to wrap her and put her safely back to bed. Hello. So I'm going to move away my towels. And I'm going to show you the way we recommend that you wrap them. So we put the wrap at their neck level and wrap over their shoulders.
before that small. See that's what this
Fingernails?
nails and this.
Yep, so babies often will scratch themselves. You can put mittens on them if you want, but they nearly always manage to escape out of the mittens. We don't recommend that you cut their fingernails, but you can file them or peel them off after a bath.
应该叫唤你看。
So see, I've wrapped over her shoulders. Now I'm folding this blanket up from the bottom
你这样往上找一个这个那样，我们这
and I'm going to wrap it around her. So it's not very tight here. She can still kick her legs, but now she is nice and secure. And even though she wants to eat, she will get calmer now I have held her up at the chest. If your baby is very upset, you can strip them down to their nappy and put them against your skin. They have been listening to your heart and your breathing for their whole lives. So this is a good way to calm them down. So you can put them against your skin or you can rock them. Oh, no. She thinks she's going to get a feed. Not from me, sorry. So you can rock them or you can pat them or you can shush them. So shh. And you will learn how your baby likes to be calmed. So once you have got them wrapped and they are ready for bed, we're going to pop her at the bottom of the cot. No toys, no bumpers, no blankets or pillows. And we're going to, if we need to have another layer on her for night time. We're going to put our other layer. She definitely wants to eat. We're going to put our other layer on like this. Just tucked over. So there's no way baby can accidentally slide under the blankets or get anything over her face. So you can see that she is quite contented there. Now this is the barcode I'm talking about that you can take a photo of, and we'll put the link on. And here is information about safe sleeping for your baby. I know, sorry, you're hungry, I'll talk faster. Everybody has got one of these blue books. It has got helpful phone numbers on the back. And in here, amongst all your baby information, it will also have your baby's immunization record. But importantly, right at the very back, it has a chart on how to do baby CPR. I recommend that you do a course, or you can look online, and the Westmead Children's Hospital has a good video that you can look at on YouTube. But what I recommend that you do is pull this page out and photocopy it. Then put the photocopy back in here and put this page on your fridge with a fridge magnet. Because if you ever needed to do CPR on your baby, you won't remember where everything is, but you will know exactly where this is because it will be on your fridge. Does anybody have any questions?
How often should we give her bath?
However often you want. You can bath her every day if you want, but babies are not very dirty, so whenever you want.
And for the first couple of weeks, we don't have to use.
No, you never have to use anything like that, and it's good to keep baby's skin as good as without too many chemicals on them, because their skin is very absorptive.
Baby lotion and all.
If you want to put that on, you can, but babies don't need it.
Need.
No,
Up to 2 weeks?
ever. If you want to put it on, though, you can. If you want to do baby massage or anything like that, you can use olive oil or any oil that you would cook with or can eat with, and that's fine to go on baby's